The Boston Celtics versus the Cleveland Cavaliers is probably the most unentertaining matchup we have for the second round. But I am a content creator and I make series previews, and that's why we're going to have to make a series preview here. And for the matchup, it's either going to be the end of the Donovan Mitchell era in Cleveland or the end of the Jaylen Brown era in Boston, because no matter what happens, it's the end of something, no matter who wins this series, because there's been rumors all season long, past 2 years, but now these two teams meet, and now we're going to see what era is ending. We all know that on paper, the Cavaliers are inferior to the Celtics. There's no other way to say it. I mean, you look on paper, Celtics are a better team. But you also have to factor in the fact Kristaps Porzingis is going to be out probably for this series. I'm not entirely sure, but he's missing significant time with an injury. I did say that was going to happen eventually before the season started, because it's the nature of Kristaps Porzingis. But you also look at the Cleveland side, and Jared Allen's been dealing with an injury. So both teams' starting centers are dealing with injury. Now, the Cavaliers have more depth at the center position, so you have to give the advantage there, especially knowing that Evan Mobley can play there. You got Tristan Thompson, whatever he's going to do there, and you just got more players with size. But everywhere else, the Celtics have an advantage. The only thing that they don't have the advantage in is in the shooting guard department, Derek White versus Donovan Mitchell, but Donovan Mitchell cannot guard them. I mean, he can't guard Derek White. I don't know what the matchups are going to look like. Either way, the Cavaliers are going to get screwed because they have no... Listen, let's say they figure out something for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Jrue Holiday and Derek White are excellent guards that can post up. Specifically Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday is one of the best post-up guards. He's going to post up Darius Garland or Donovan Mitchell religiously. He's going to score every time. They don't really have an answer for that. The only thing I have to say is that the Celtics have shown us that without Kristaps Porzingis against teams like the Cavaliers, they really struggle to defend, they let up big leads, and then they wind up losing games that they should not lose. And that's the only thing that I look at this series and I'm like, all right, the Cavs might have a chance. But the Cavaliers are also a team that once they get down, they shut down. Now, I know Game 7 was not the case for that at all. They came back. But you look at last year's playoffs with the Knicks, they got down. They couldn't come back. Celtics and Magic are two very, very different teams. The Celtics are one of the best teams we've ever seen constructed on paper. The Magic are a team that can't shoot the ball, so you could take them out the game. If they couldn't shoot, they couldn't win. And they couldn't shoot in the second half of Game 7 after a hot start. And that's why the Cavs ultimately won. It's not the same case for the Celtics. Even though the Celtics are heavily three-point reliant, it does not mean that they won't go and score when the time's needed. Now, the Celtics do worry me a little bit. I mean, I'll be rooting for the Cleveland Cavaliers if you're new to this channel. You know, I don't mess with the Celtics or Lakers at all. I'll always be rooting against both of them. Anyways, when it comes down to it, the Celtics historically do not show up in the postseason. They lose games that they should not lose. And a team like the Cavaliers could win a few games, take a few games away from the Celtics that should not be lost. And that's the only reason why I'm considering saying the Celtics are going to win the series in 6 games rather than 4 or 5. But I honestly just do not see a world where the Celtics lose this series unless Porzingis is out the entire series. The Cavs have a different level of defensive energy between their guards and can stop. I don't know, what else to say other than the fact that Jrue Holiday and Derek White, those two are taking advantage of Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell in the post. Cavs are not going to win this series, and that's just the reality of it. And so I look at it and I say, all right, those two have the power to enforce their will. It's a 5-game series at most. I don't know. I got the Celtics in 5. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know how else to look at it. Of course, Porzingis being out is a huge factor, as I've said. But when it comes down to it, I trust everybody else on the Celtics more than I trust everybody on the Cavs. And especially the fact that Evan Mobley, I don't really trust him. And realistically, you're looking at Jason Tatum guarding him. Jason Tatum's a way more physical defender than Evan Mobley saw in the Magic series. Now, I know Paolo or whoever was guarding him, I don't even remember at this point. They're younger, so he was able to enforce his will. But now he's the younger one. He's going to get dominated. We've seen it happen. Last year against the Knicks, we saw it happen. We see it happen in the regular season all year. And honestly, I don't think Evan Mobley's going to make a great impact. Now, he might have a good game or two, but when it comes down to it, the times he's going to play well are the times when Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland don't show up. And that is why the Celtics are going to win this series in 5 games and move on to probably play the New York Knicks. I hope y'all enjoyed. There's not really much to discuss about this series. I mean, we all know that if the Celtics come to play, this series is over before it even starts. But if the Celtics don't come to play, the Cavs could take a game or two. But realistically, the Cavs are not going to win this series. And the Donovan Mitchell era is over in Cleveland. But let's go, Cavs. I'm rooting for y'all. And I'm hoping y'all subscribe to the channel, as 98% of y'all are unsubscribed. Don't forget to check out my elimination videos and my other series previews. I talk about every team after they're eliminated. The next video will be the Pelicans, and then the Magic, and then we're solely focused on post-game reactions, instant reactions, which is something a lot of y'all loved last year. So we're going to be getting back into those this Friday, maybe Saturday. But yeah, y'all have a good one. Bye.